not want to do it. And it was weird too because at one point I saw Polt had the tower, sees the army coming, still didn't siege or move his Marines at his natural. He was just off doing other things. He ended up picking up very quick because he's got very fast reflexes, but both players, just very strange game, very strange.
Yeah, but very fun nevertheless. Our second map is going to be played on Habitation Station. Hopefully this entire best of 5 is going to be as exciting as Way Station was. I can't wait to see who is going to advance to the finals of Lone Star Clash Invitational number 3. Is it going to be Bomber or is it going to be Polt?
Polt, the full-time gamer living out of Atlanta, Georgia, formerly Texas, here in Austin. Bomber, having left StarTail, but then very quickly being picked up by Red Bull. Both these players champions, maybe triple crowns, we're not sure. At least one of these guys is, but they both very well could be. And both are runner-ups at Lone Star, so here we go.
Over here on the right top side of Habitation Station, we have the Red Terran player representing Cooler Master, Storm. He's currently up 1-0 in this semifinal. Give it up for Polt.
And his opponent needing to run it back here to tie things up in game number 2. It is Bomber. I keep almost saying StarTail. I still associate him with StarTail. But
I have that with some players as well. I have that a lot with MC. I was so used to saying like SKMC and then not saying SK anymore. That was really tricky.
Gem MC.
No, I refuse.
Nobody says that.
Either way, I mean, you know, like I think for a more inexperienced player, if you lose a first game like that, where you can kind of look back at it, it's like, man, that was kind of my game. I think a lot of players would be shaken up a little bit. I don't think that's really going to be the case for Bomber. He seems so calm and, you know, so to himself, and he has played on so many stages all around the world, and he has won a lot of prize money already that he's probably not shaking too much or beating himself up for that too much, right?
No, I don't. I agree with you fully. I think if he was further ahead and somehow lost that game, that could be really tilting. But as it was, there's a very real possibility that he didn't even know he was ahead. And honestly, between you and I, it was arguable that he was ahead. He had more Marines, but Polt pushed him around so hard, there might be something we're missing or whatever, or maybe it was just positional. But at least it was close enough that it didn't seem like that was a huge robbery. A couple of decisions go differently. Maybe it's quite the opposite. I think he's fine, and this map's very, very different. Obviously, that version of Way Station is absolutely gigantic. It's up there with Altazim, but here on this map, it's very medium size. It's very narrow and confined pathways unless you get to the middle ground around that tower, kind of south of the tower. That's open space. But it also has a lot of open air, so I'm looking for both these guys to add missile turrets and sensor towers pretty quick, to probably button up 2 or 3 bases, and then to look for positional shoves, challenging that third base that has a high ground near it.
I couldn't agree more. You know, it's also fun that we were talking about the strengths of both players and how they both excel at different games and things. And we also said that Polt probably has a little bit better crisis management. Well, that was definitely a game that required some crisis management and on the fly at that thing. And it's exactly what we said. And Polt really showing that that is something that he shines at. While Bomber, of course, had solid macro throughout the entire game, but making a couple of wrong decisions in the end. Either way, neither player opening up with a Reaper over here on Habitation, which is not too surprising as this is probably the worst Reaper map out there. And Bomber is going for an identical opening to what he showed us on Way Station. Polt on the other end is switching things up. No, actually he opened up with Banshees as well. Yeah. No,
this is the weird agreement that Terran players always have. Very rarely do you see the exact same build, like both one Rax Expand or both Cloaked Banshee. No? I mean, they'll get to Cloaked Banshee, but they'll do it, you know, through different paths to the mountaintop, as it were. And like you said, when we did do the first TVT series between Hart and Polt, I liked what you said. It's often very different like this, but usually the player that expands first loses some harvesters, and the player that techs first kills a few, and then makes his expand, and then they equalize, like almost every time. And that's largely in part also because of how high level these guys are. It's very rare that you see one of them just crumble to Banshee harass.
Yeah, or one of them just lose their Banshee and not kill anything. Polt was getting a little adventurous with his 3 Marines. I wonder what he wanted to do with it. This time, however, Bomber did get a much quicker Widow Mine, and I really wonder what he's going to try to do with it. If he's going to try to hide it, or, you know, like I like to say, put it in a really stupid position. Because if you put it in a good position, most likely Polt is not going to fly over it. But if you put it in a really awkward position, you know, that might be the moment where Polt is not paying attention just yet. The only other thing I really like is like when you move the SCVs and you burrow the Widow Mine right below the SCVs, because then it's really hard to spot. Just putting it in the middle of your mineral line is, for these players, quite obvious, and they won't fly into it.
you know, to be a bit of a pessimist, it's surprising how many times you see that just land in the middle of the mineral line. I always like the guys that find that spot. You know, you talk about moving the SCVs. We saw a Major yesterday cover it with the Marine. There's even things you can do with the refinery where you put it just behind kind of the towers.
That is so annoying. Like,
you just can't see it at all.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's like your Oracle flies in, you're like, nice, exposed mineral line.
Yeah.
It's like, boom.
No, what? And it shows itself for that 1 second. You already know it's about to happen. You're like, oh, God. But
yeah, that's like that moment where you can avoid it anymore. Yeah. Now this I don't mind. Okay, Bomber is going to move it a little further forward. These Marines might almost see it. They're not going to see it, but they will see it real soon. I can't imagine Polt running into this.
Well, imagine. Nope. Don't imagine it. Not going to happen. He'll throw one Marine at it probably. Or maybe just...
And then I wouldn't be surprised if Bomber unburrows it, knowing Bomber. Well,
we both will dare to dream, I suppose. But second Viking coming out as well. Cloak does finish, and second Banshee is also being produced, but there's already missile turrets, there's Vikings, there's Marines, there's all the tools necessary. SCV dies.
Probably not going to be a whole lot more than one, you know, maybe 2 or 3 when that second Banshee arrives as well, but I kind of like how Bomber has played this. You know, if I would be a Terran player and I would open up like this, I'd feel like, yeah, I thought you were going Cloak Banshee, I scanned, I confirmed you were going Cloak Banshee, you also didn't trick me, you're really going Cloak Banshee, because, you know, there are so many different levels to a silly TVT opening like this. It's not as straightforward as it is for us, you know, we're just sitting here and we see what happens. But for the Terrans, they have to think about a lot of things, but so far Bomber is making all the correct calls.
Oh.
No, Widow Mine?
Oh, that Widow Mine.
Scan? No. Would have been.
It is a cool spot for it, though. I do like that. We had a couple of Vikings chase off a Banshee at the natural as well. I thought they got a cloak out of it.
One Banshee did fall.
Oh, it did die?
No, it didn't.
No, it's down there south of the natural. No, he actually didn't find it at all. There's Vikings there, I swear.
Yeah.
They just didn't do it.
He didn't find it.
Otherwise, I mean, look at the supply. Very, very similar. Harvesters. I'm guessing very close. Yep, 36 to 33. Slight edge for our blue Terran bomber. This, yeah, he's got to be careful. Oh, he runs out, actually.
It would have been really unfortunate for Bomber if he just threw down a scan. He's like, yeah, got you. And then, like, the Banshee reveals himself.
That's sloppy, by the way. Let's be critical where we can before they start playing perfect again. Attacking a depot, running out of energy, and then just dying. That's a waste.
Well, the depot is smoking, though, Jeff.
He went full Korean on that one, huh? No? They don't say that? Okay. Banshee's gonna pull back to the base. Big surprise, Polt making Marine tank with medevac. Let's check in what Bomber's making. Marine tank with medevac. Get ready, because that's gonna be every single series. Neither of these guys do mech, by the way, if anyone is wondering. They don't change it up.
They just don't. You know, if one of the two is going to do it, oh, that's very unfortunate for this little Widow Mine.
How unfortunate.
But these Vikings are going to find this Banshee over here on the south side. A scan with 3 Vikings.
Ooh, he's got to be careful. That scan.
He's going to get it.
That's good. Yeah, it's good.
It's good. At the same time, though, Polt is marching across the map already with tanks. Does Bomber have tanks? Yes, he has, but they're all out of position.
They're in a weird position, too. What is it defending back there by the... I mean, it's safe from a Banshee, I guess. So that's what he's worried about. But Polt's going to get to the prime spot. He's going to harass some gas, maybe get a few SCVs for himself. But with these Vikings, by the way, that Marine up there is actually super important. That's his high ground spotting. He can't use medevacs, and he doesn't have any more Banshees.
This guy has some cool life insurance, man. He's well protected. Okay. Well, he was. He still is. Now these Vikings are probably going to land?
They're going to land, yeah. Snipe it with a Gatling gun.
Pop. That was the coolest assassin that I've ever seen. Never ever seen a Marine die so quickly or so cool with honor.
Yeah.
That was like almost a different game.
He'll do it again. He liked that idea. He's like, can I do it? I don't know.
Stealth assassin over there.
Now, even beyond just the economic harm that is being accrued here, I also like just the position. As long as Polt doesn't lose these tanks, and as I say that, oh, that's scanned. Yikes. Timing of that was magnificent.
And this is an excellent push for Polt. He's buying so much time for himself.
He could take a third behind this. He could be loading up for a big drop. He controls the pace of the game right now, whereas Bomber's on the back foot. He's just trying to survive. He's trying to put a cap on the damage that he's taking.
I also like that Polt is at least keeping 2 tanks at home, you know, because often you have your opponent contained and then suddenly he flies through your main with a couple of medevacs. That's not going to happen. Now, here come the Marines for Polt. Most of the Marines from Bomber are out of position. These tanks from Polt are still in an absolutely fantastic position. Bomber is in so much trouble over here, even though the supplies are still even. Look at that command center.
Polt's he's making Bomber look like what Bomber made Hart look like in their series. Like, that tank was by itself. That was a very obvious target. The scan was just to confirm how good of a prize that was for Polt. Polt jumped on it. Supply-wise, they're actually scarily equal, by the way.
I don't really get
that's
that.
happening.
No, it doesn't feel like that at all.
In fact, Bomber's ahead.
Yeah, well, okay, one of the reasons is, though, that Polt has a third command center, an orbital even. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So
Here we go.
Bomber's going to pull most of his SUVs. He's going to be able to clean this up. Is he going to get the medevacs as well? No, he doesn't. Now I think it's going to be all about counterattacking.
That one Marine. He's fine, man. If nobody hears me, yeah, he's going to go hide in the corner.
How's that called again?
Back.
Find Waldo or something?
No, that's the freaking Terminator right there, man. Harder to be back.
Private Ryan. Behind enemy lines.
Yeah, no one's going for him. He's screwed. There's no movie about that. There's no medevac heading over there to grab him. They're like, no, you're dead, man.
We'll see how
a lot more Private Ryans. Bomber pushing out. He wants to get revenge here, but the positioning of Polt is strong.
I don't know why, that's so funny. Bomber does have a lot of Marines. He has 50 Marines.
Oh, he's loading up for a drop.
But it's so close to the Marines of Polt.
And then he's like, wait a second, what's chasing me is smaller than even what I have on the ground. He still can't drop, though.
Yes, he can. He's Bomber.
Well, yeah, you're right. Bomber says, you idiot. Of course I can.
There is a he barely...
scan just whips. Or did it see it?
I think it's it saw it. Look at those Marines. Yeah. No, Bomber, you can't do this.
No, Bomber.
Bomber, he's going to do it after all.
Okay, yeah. Actually, this is fantastic, I think. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm not making any calls right now.
I can't tell if this is good or not.
Those shots are pretty juicy though for Bomber. He picks up that tank as well, and his tanks are still alive. One of them will get picked up. Will the second one get picked up? I think this might actually be okay. Damage. Yeah, Bomber is doing fantastic.
The casters can confirm it. This is good for Bomber.
It took a little while.
Hot pickup on the tank as well. Gosh, this has been so clearly great.
Polt is still going to probably eventually clean this up, but at the same time, look at the new Marines running towards this third base of Polt that is so exposed. This time it's Bomber.
This might be a hard GG here in a second. This is a critical blow.
Awesome. What a fantastic play there by Bomber. It was a risky move. It was a doom drop or a dooms drop, but it turned out to be a doom drop.
This was a doom drop. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Polt's running out of units. He's going to try to do what he can, but there's so much Bomber here. He's coming in, and there's the drop to seal the deal. Polt, get out of the game. It's 1-1.
Wow, awesome game. Wow, Polt doing a lot of good stuff.